You're right in time for Hope TV News Watch on this 20th day of July 2024. A very good evening to you and welcome to the broadcast. My name is Kennedy Kimani. Now, just a day after the launch of its frequency 87.7 FM in Samburu County, Hope FM has been received with a lot of support from local communities in the region. On Saturday, the Hope Media team took to the streets of Maralal town, interacted with residents, shared the exciting news about the station's launch and distributed branded merchandise to their fans. Hope Media's head of Hope Media, Dismas Makanda, challenged local communities to listen to Hope FM for enriching Christian content as well as spiritual nourishment.
Hapa ni Samburu County katikati ya mji wa Maralal. Watu wengi ambao tumekutana nao leo, wanabiashara, wanabodaboda, wamefurahia sana kwamba wamepata station ambayo itakuwa rafiki wao kila siku, kuhakikisha kwamba wanapata muziki ambao utabadilisha maisha yao, mahubiri, entertainment. Na wale ambao tumekutana nao wanabodaboda wamefurahi sana. Wengi wao wamesema sasa kwa pikipiki zao watapata kujumuika, kufurahia, kupata burudani hata wanapofanya kazi zao. Tumeenda kwa mahali pa kukula, hoteli. Wengi wa wanabiashara wamefurahia sana. Wametukaribisha katika mji huu wa Samburu na Maralal town. So wakazi wote wamefurahia, na sisi kama wana Hope FM na wana Hope TV tumepata welcome ambayo iko very warm.
Na nimefurahi sana kukutana na wao kwamba wanaeneza mambo ya radio Hope FM. Tumefurahi sana kama wakazi wa Maralal na tunashukuru sana. Karibuni, na tutakuwa tunasikiza usiku na mchana.
Nyimbo yangu ya kwanza ama niko na album mbili saizi natengeneza na shoot ya pili. I think this week itakuwa na ile nyimbo yangu ya Nanga Naibor itakuwa imeshutiwa tayari, na pia Ashashe itakuwa imeshutiwa, Mangati itakuwa iko tayari, na nashukuru kwa sababu ya station ambayo imekuja kutuletea maendeleo.
Mzuri sana kama umeleta Hope FM hapa. Mzuri, unajua Hope ni matumaini maisha, na ni neno litakuwa likiendelea kila mahali, na ambayo ni mzuri zaidi, na sisi wote tunaunga mkono na tunamkaribisha.
Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has urged the Gen Zs to call off the nationwide anti-government demonstrations, saying the issues have been heard and are being addressed. Speaking in Mwea, Kirinyaga County on Saturday, the Deputy President said that criminals are taking advantage of the protest to loot and destroy properties, and thus the need to stop the demonstrations.
Hata hii Gen Z pia sisi tunaheshimu nyinyi. Ile mnasema tunasikiza. Na mumeongea Gen Z. Na tumesikiza nyinyi. Na mimi nakubaliana na Presiding Bishop. Tafadhali Gen Z, my children, my sons and daughters, we have heard you. You have spoken clearly. What you have said needs no full stop or comma. It's clear. Lakini sasa mkitoka wakora wana hijack mambo yenu. Wezi wanaanza kuiba mali ya watu, si ndio? So we want to ask the Gen Z, you have spoken, we have heard you. Please don't allow your protest to be hijacked by criminals, people with the criminal intent to steal property, to destroy property. I think what you have said is now enough. You don't need to say anything more. Rais amesikia, serikali imesikia, kila mtu amesikia. Viongozi, kujeni ground msikize wananchi wanasema nini. Pana kaa Nairobi, unajifanya unajua, kuja hapa. Si ndio? Na viongozi mkae karibu na wananchi. Wewe kama hapana iko pahali wananchi wako, wewe uko wapi? Si wewe ni mtu ya kuandikwa? Matajiri ya kuandika wewe si ni hao wananchi? Nataka kuambia viongozi wetu mkae karibu na wananchi na muwasikize na muheshimu maono yao. Mkisikia wakisema hii barabara hapana, wachana naye. Kila mtu asikize tajiri yake. Mimi ninajua tajiri yangu ni nani. Tajiri yangu ni hao watu hapa.
Moving on swiftly, and Navakholo Member of Parliament Emmanuel Wangwe has commended the leaders within the Azimio la Umoja coalition for embracing the call made by their leader Raila Odinga for dialogue between the government and the opposition. Speaking at the official opening of 5 new classrooms and the school office at Chekata Primary School, funded by the Constituency Development Fund in Navakholo, Wangwe emphasized the need for these leaders to respond to the call in order to bring peace in the country.
Kuna kiongozi hapa Kakamega amesema hataki CDF irudi kwa uongozi wa kitaifa. Tuondoe CDF, pesa ikuwe katika vitengo viwili, devolved unit and national government. Kama yeye kwake anataka watoe, mtoe tuko kwao, lakini CDF anabakona ibaki. Kwa sababu mimi nitaondoka kama mjumbe wenu, lakini yule atakuja hata kesho aendelee kusaidia watu wanabakona kupitia kwa hiyo hazina ya CDF, because CDF lives beyond a particular member of parliament. Lakini yule akiona kwake iko mzuri, tumpatie heko za kwake na Mwenyezi Mungu ambariki na huko. Wanasiasa wenzangu watakuja wenye wanafikiria walikuwa wamepata nafasi ati wangu sasa ameteleza, ameenda, yes, ameanguka, lakini Mungu yuko. Bora naenda kuomba kwa Mungu, Mungu atakujibu tu hapa duniani. Mimi bado niko na nyinyi, kama mmekubali nimerudi kwenu, tutembee pamoja. Mimi nasema asanteni. Wangapi wanasema tutembee pamoja? Basi kama mmekubali hiyo, mimi nasema asanteni. Na wale walikuwa wamekuja mara sikiwa wameenda wapi, wametafuta nini, wamewekea mimi nini. So Kenya unafika level unasema heri yule yuko mbaya tumufinye, aheshimu sheria kuliko yule mwenye katamani akiwa msituni mwenye hatujui. Na mimi naungana na baba, ile baba amesema tuketi pamoja, tusungumuze kama jamii ya Kenya, tusungumuze ili suluhu ipatikane mzuri. Na jenzi mpaka tunawaheshimu, because wamesukuma wanaume mpaka wanaume kila mahali mwanaume amekaa anaogopa jenzi tu peke yake. So lazima tuheshimu hao jenzi, kile wanataka tuwafanyie.
Now listen to this. Multi-millionaire prisons cleaner Eric Kipkurui Mutai and his bosses have been charged with corruptly receiving 301.9 million shillings from the State Department for Correctional Service for quote-unquote supplying air. Appearing before the anti-corruption magistrate Selesa Okore, Mutai and his 5 co-accused persons denied 68 corruption charges of conspiracy to commit an economic crime, abuse of office and money laundering.
And I wish to state that the court is alive to the provisions of the Constitution and all the applicable laws with regard to the issue of bond and bail terms. The court is also alive to the fact that the offences herein relate to economic crimes, and these are issues that are of great concern to the public and the country at large. The court has also considered the fact that as much as the accused persons are not a flight risk, it is important that they deposit their travel documents and passports in court for the court to also keep track of the accused persons and the court to be aware whenever they are not within the borders of the country. So in that regard, the court is making orders as follows. Number 1, that each accused person, the ones who are present today, that is accused 2, accused 4, accused 5, accused 6, accused 10, be released on a bond of Kenya shillings 7 million with one surety of similar amount, or cash bail of Kenya shillings 4 million. Each of the accused persons are ordered to deposit their passports or travel documents in court during the pendency of this matter. And I also want to reiterate that whenever they need to travel, the court will always be informed and the court can always release the documents to them and they can return them when they are back. Order number 3, that summons requiring attendance to issue to accused number 1, 3, 7, 8, 9, 11 and 13 to appear before this court on Monday, the 22nd of July, for plea taking.
Now, former Deputy Chief Justice Nancy Barasa has called on the communities residing at the Mount Elgon region in Bungoma County to shun tribalism and instead cooperate to raise the level of education among the youth. Speaking at St. Thomas Aquinas Secondary School in Chesikaki, the former Deputy Chief Justice said tribalism has eroded social cohesion within communities in Mount Elgon, fostering an atmosphere of suspicion and animosity rather than cooperation and mutual support.
Nyani ni wale wale. Kwa sababu the president actually kama angekuwa anatumia mawazo ambayo iko very free, hangerudisha more than 3 people kwa ile cabinet ya zamani. Ukiangalia mambo ya ukabila, bado kuna zile kabila yeye ameshikilia. Kuna wale watu hata akitoa mtu huyu anarusha kiti mahali pale pale Kiligonga, na Kenya iko na 42 tribes na watu wengi wamesoma na watu wengi wanaweza hold these offices. Kwa hivyo ukiangalia kama health ametoa tu mahali fulani akarudisha papo hapo.
We do apologize for the mix-up of the stories. Crossing borders now, and Bangladesh has announced the imposition of a curfew and the deployment of military forces after police failed to stop days of deadly unrest that has spread throughout the country. This week's clashes between the students, demonstrators and police have killed over 100 people and pose a momentous challenge to Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina's autocratic government after 15 years in office. The protests initially broke out over student anger against quotas that set aside 30% of government jobs for the families of those who fought for the independence from Pakistan. The unrest has been fueled by high unemployment among young people, who make up nearly a fifth of a population of 170 million. Let's get down to business now, and with an aim of improving integrated skills and competence of chief executives, Atlas Copco company held an executive CEO's dinner as they commemorated over 88 years of being in business in the country. The meeting saw high-profile individuals share business insights and exchange ideas, as it also gave them an opportunity to air their challenges faced in the business and entrepreneurial industry. Our reporter Ian Githuku with more.
They say by the one of the reasons why the Sea Association was started is it is lonely at the top. And I know those of you who have been CEOs outside even the Sea Association, you would agree that many times it actually can be very lonely, at the top. So that's the first objective. The second objective was actually networking and networking and just, supporting each other in our organizations.
Friday's executive CEO's dinner saw high-profile individuals in the Kenyan business world come together to network courtesy of Atlas Copco, an organization that now boasts over 88 years of service in Kenya. Other than networking, the meeting saw the CEOs receive business and life insights from the highly experienced Mary Wangari.
University, then they start working. I mean, it's been an exciting story. But I also said, I need now to share the knowledge with more people, because I've interacted a lot with customers, with my staff members, 13,000 of them. When I joined Equity, we were only 500 people, staff. I'm actually employee number 712 in Equity. Today, the payroll of Equity is 13,000 people.
Wangari shared her perspectives on leadership and spoke about navigating change and inspiring innovations. She explained the importance of when to leave the center stage, citing her recent exit from Equity Bank after a successful 20 years. Her speech came along with business insights that seemed to improve the leadership skills and competence of the business leaders present.
And from that point, it dawned on me that I had a wealth of experience and knowledge and experience I had accumulated. Over 20 years in banking and another 14 years in legal practice. So I decided that I need to share this story. And I wondered, okay, so because I'm in full-time employment, so how can I be able to share? And I said, maybe if I write a book and people can read for themselves, it is also better, because I am now reaching people that I have never met. And probably I will never meet them. I am so lucky I'm meeting you today. But there are several thousands and maybe millions of people that are getting that story, because I'm also talking about it on social media without meeting them.
Challenges faced by the business executives were also aired by some of the CEOs. While at it, Rafael Kendiko, the regional manager of Atlas Copco, called on the government to provide a better business environment for local entrepreneurs.
Leadership level of companies, organizations, can be really quite a big challenge. It's often said it's lonely. Yes, indeed, it's lonely. But there are many challenges, because we are dealing with, a changing macro environment. And this can really bring unexpected changes for the business. At the end of the day, you have to deliver positive outcomes for your customers, for your employees, for your shareholders. And so this forum helps us to discuss ideas, to go deeper, to discuss leadership thoughts, to share experiences, and to build each other. And I found it very useful that we could do this as CEOs.
The ongoing protest against the government was cited as a matter of concern, with some saying they have led to the destruction of businesses and scared away investors.
Competition is not fair. Business are being given in the boardrooms, a lot of kickbacks required, and sometimes the faith doesn't allow us to do that. So you might remain a startup for long because you don't agree with what the society would term as normal. So those are some of the challenges. And then, of course, the riots that are happening. We're only working 12 days in a month. When you have staff, you're paying 30 days and you're receiving 12 days. So really, it's affecting every business. You cannot schedule meetings for 2 days in a week, and then, of course, the weekend. So that's something that, if the matter can be brought to conclusion as soon as possible, so that people go back to their normal businesses, and that we continue growing our country, because ideally it's our country whichever way you look at it.
The forum also provided business advice for the youth that could see them reach the height of the CEOs. This was specifically important, seeing that currently 85% of Kenya's population is aged below the age of 35.
Not grow your business if you're not growing your brand and visibility in that space. I think those are some of the things that have really stood out for me, and that same old doesn't work. It is valuable. You don't throw everything out, but you really have to invent yourself as a leader, as a business person, as an entrepreneur, and to be grounded, have a strong sense of purpose, so that whatever you're doing, it's not just about the money, but it's also about purpose. And there's nothing wrong with fulfilling purpose and making money while you're at it. I think those are some of my key takeaways.
Headquartered in Sweden and branches across different countries including Kenya, Atlas Copco provides compressed air and gas equipment, industrial power tools, construction equipment and industrial vacuum equipment, as well as service and maintenance. For Hope TV Newswatch, my name is Ian Gethuku.
Thank you so much, Ian, for that report. And that report wraps up Newswatch for tonight. Many thanks to you for making time to watch Hope TV Newswatch. On behalf of the amazing team that made this bulletin a success, have yourselves a blessed night. My name is Kimani.